everybody? Welcome back. You hear that music, you know what it is. You like that? I see you bobbing your head. You like that, don't you? Damn right. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the first episode in the new studios, Big Stew Studios at what is it? Downtown, 1530, uh, 1560 Jefferson, South Broadway, St. Louis, downtown. It's an inauguration, first episode, everybody. This is amazing in Big Stew Studio. I can't believe this. We high off the glass, everybody. Welcome to the show. We have an amazing guest today. Tell you, y'all, we bring you the best basketball and cannabis talk here in the land of Earth, and today is no exception. I have Miss Marne Madison here today, everybody.
Hey.
Miss Marne, everybody, is a dispensary owner, a cultivation academy owner, LLCs galore, degrees galore. The sister has a class where she teaches cannabis cultivation at Lincoln University. I mean, this one, yeah, like she gets a double round of applause. There, Miss Marne Madison. How are you, sister?
Yes, thank you. I'm doing great.
Thank you for making my show.
Yes, thank you for having me.
I
Such an honor.
No, the honor is all mine. You when I break down your resume to everybody, when the listeners hear it today, they are going to be shocked. Like it's so thorough. Like, give me the rundown. Like it's so much. I have to have a list. Like,
Yes.
yeah,
First, we'll start with Fleur Verte Academy,
there
which
it
is that
is.
awesome cultivation academy that you were talking about.
Fleur
In reference,
Verte.
Fleur Verte.
Fleur Verte.
Yes, it's a French origin. St. Louis.
Right.
Play a pun of words.
Exactly. I love
Yeah.
with the lead we got in the background. You guys
Yeah.
will see it when you watch the episode. Tell me this: how come you guys have the same thing as New Orleans? Who had it first?
Yes. Well, I'll say that we did. If you research
Of course.
history, yeah, just like the French expansion,
Right.
Lewis and Clark Trail being across the Mississippi River.
Right.
But I mean, of course, we wouldn't know who was doing what at the same time.
Right.
So
Right.
St. Louis is just going to steal the fame. Our Mardi Gras is actually like better, than hey,
Whoa.
okay,
Word.
yeah. You've never been to Mardi Gras?
I have. But you're saying St. Louis's Mardi Gras is better than New Orleans's?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
biased. Yes.
Right on. Yeah. I'm no comment.
No, it's okay. We're
Yeah.
gonna ride for it.
You
But
you
yes.
you say you believe what you believe, but yeah,
Hmm.
it's just I always wondered that, like, how come it's the same thing? But that makes perfect sense. Lewis and Clark. Yeah, we can tell you're educated, and I love that
Yeah.
response. All
Oh,
right.
thank you, thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah,
So
the fleur de lis. That's our city's flower and our flag. Well, not the flower, but that's the flag for us.
right.
Yes.
So what do you do at your academy?
So we educate and cultivate students into the cannabis industry. So we do a host of different things, as well as helping them develop their beginners homegrown skills. So Elite Homegrowers Academy. Shout out to Zach and the guys
Always.
over there at Elite.
Zach Post in the house. What up, Zach? That's
Yes.
our boy. That dude. He is the jump off St. Louis urban community cannabis. Like, he is the go-to man. Like,
Yes, he
in
is.
and outside of the community. I mean, the man has an event happening in Pacific, Missouri, here
Hmm.
pretty soon. Like, he's everywhere, Missouri, related with cannabis.
Yeah,
I
across
love
the
it.
country. Like
He
we're in
is.
Oklahoma together.
Right,
He's always on the plane going to help
right,
out some, big cultivation
right.
facilities. So yeah, he's really dope.
You said Oklahoma. So is he a part of your dispensary that you have?
And no, so he's not a part of the dispensary, but as far as like all the education that I
Okay.
do, yeah, so
Wow.
he's definitely, but he's doing his own thing in Oklahoma. Like,
Right,
yeah, I saw
right.
he was just out, him and Brandon were teaching in a facility how to, better their yield. So
Wow.
yeah, he's the guy.
Okay.
Yep.
He is. He is
Yes.
through and through. So with the academy, you teach, you educate.
Yes.
You now, how did you get known throughout? Because when I spoke to you before, the great thing. Let me give everybody a little background. I met this sister literally last week. She held the first annual Wellston medical marijuana car drive. All you had to do was show up, and basically, her and Miss Madison and Miss Dawn Abernathy, they would get you all together. You show an ID. Didn't have to live in Wellston either, which I found out. Dawn hit me to that on IG. And you just show up, have $50, fill out the form, and you have a medical marijuana card for the state of Missouri.
Yep, yes, yes. And that's actually our second one. So I started,
I'm
yes.
sorry, I was
I've
wrong.
been repping for
Wow,
Weston for a minute. No, no, you're
that's
fine.
rep it. Damn
Yes,
right.
yes, I definitely a lot of people don't know. Weston, Missouri is actually the second most poverty stricken city in the country.
Right. Right.
Outside of like a city in Detroit, Michigan. So
Mhm.
when we talk about cannabis being here in Missouri and we talk about people trying to capitalize on the trauma that these underrepresented communities and despaired, economic distressed people are going through.
Yes, ma'am.
That's a problem, and someone has to advocate.
Mhm.
And I feel as though at this point it's me.
Yes,
So
definitely. I love that that you've taken that mantle and you want to do that. Before we go any further, I want to know the background. Like, what makes Marne tick? Like, what brought Marne, into this business? How was your childhood? How did you end up in the fastest growing business in the United States?
that's a great question. Great
Yeah,
question.
yeah. Where'd you grow up? Start off there.
I grew up border of north and west side of St. Louis,
Okay.
so like Kings Highway and like in between Union. So
Right.
that's definitely like that north and west border.
Right.
I went to Sodan. Had my first blunt first freshman year
Talk
at
about it. Talk
Sodan.
about it.
I went to I was a part of the
How old
Gifted
were you?
Academy. I was 14.
14 at
Yeah,
first blunt.
it was my 14th birthday.
Damn
Yes.
right.
Yep. So I was some peers had been
Uh-huh.
smoking and I was just like, what's that?
Peers. Your
Yeah.
peoples. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, right. I ain't gonna mention them on here. Mama be like, "Who did it?" So
Exactly.
no, I
Exactly.
ain't gonna snitch on them.
Right.
But yeah. So I'm like, I want to do that for my birthday, and my
Yeah.
birthday happens. It's in the summertime, so it's like 4 days into the school year.
Yeah, because
So,
you're a Leo like me, aren't you?
well, I'm a Virgo. Yes, I'm
Oh,
at the
snap.
end.
I
Yep,
missed it.
August 29th. Yes,
Dang, you so close.
right. But it's okay. We were almost cool,
That's
but
right.
it's okay.
Now
But
you got the same one
yes,
as Michael, so you good.
yes, and when
Yeah,
awesome.
that's the
There
man.
you go.
Yeah,
Yep, yep.
that's my boy.
So basically, I'm like, hey, for my birthday, I wanna hit that. So
Yeah.
my friend was like, okay. So
Yeah.
she brings this blunt to school or whatever. And I'm like, okay, yes, we're gonna smoke out this school. And she like, no, we finna smoke in the bathroom.
Wow.
I smoked in the bathroom
No.
and we're talking about like nerd Marnay, okay?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like the craziest thing I've ever done. Mom don't whoop me. Yes, okay. I'm telling on myself right now. But
Right.
I smoked it and didn't stop smoking.
Yeah.
But yes, I honestly can say that it never impaired me. I
Right.
actually had way more credits than I needed to graduate from high school. I was in dual credit,
Right.
courses,
Right.
very studious. So, and that's actually how I got into cannabis in college. I started actually just researching why cannabis, like you said, made me tick. Like, why do I
Mhm.
feel how I feel?
Right.
And I was smoking Blue Dream, and
Mm.
I realized that I was studying one day, and
Actually got Blue
um,
Dream. Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
yes, I love it.
Yep.
Blue Dream is actually one of those most sacred strands when it
Yep.
comes to healing and balancing imbalances.
Yep.
So good job with that strand.
Yeah, damn right.
So yep, I was basically studying and I didn't need to study. Those words were just popping up on my face. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, so I'm just absorbing it like a sponge.
Right.
Next day I go to the test and it was like how high. I was like, okay, we got these answers.
Yeah, yeah.
And I really wanted to know more. And I actually smoked a different kind and it got me moody. And I
Right.
was like, well, wait, I'm
Yeah.
not used to feeling that. I had some street, cannabis,
Uh-huh.
which is why I, went back to and, give that reach back in teaching courses because it's okay to consume cannabis.
Right.
But if you are, getting this, bad quality, strands that are not, even being dried and cured correctly could have mold on
Mhm.
them,
That's so correct. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
and that could, even impair those mental health issues if you have those and things like that. So, yeah, so I researched, basically why weed made me feel how I felt, and it popped up Dr. Sue Sisley, who's a renowned professor and doctor researcher across the country and internationally. At the time, she was doing a seminar at Washington University, and
Hmm.
it was about to start in like 30 minutes. So I
Oh,
hopped. Yes, I'm at UMSU, so I hopped on the Metrolink and I go down to her seminar, and she
now who
says,
was she?
sorry, Dr. Sue Sisley.
Okay. What was she?
So at the time, she was a professor, and she was teaching what is now a very known subject, the endocannabinoid system.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
We all have the endo. Oh, yes.
yes.
She knows what's up. Okay, go ahead.
Yep, so that was my first time ever hearing that phrase, and
Right,
I'm just jotting down the notes.
right,
And I promise from that point, I was about 18, and I was
right,
like, no one can ever make me feel bad for smoking cannabis,
right,
but I have to find out why I need cannabis.
right,
And that just zeroed in on my mental health issues, and what I was facing and things
right,
that I needed to overcome.
right.
I went from probably smoking six to so, blunts a day to now being so, motivated and active and busy that
Mhm.
I can barely get a blunt in. So
Okay, wait.
go ahead.
Okay, it's a lot you just said. So I
Mhm.
want to go back a little bit. Now you said advanced. You were in advanced classes in high school.
Yes.
So how long were you at? Like how long had you been advanced in elementary, high school? Was it
My whole life.
your
Yep.
whole life?
In
Okay,
the gifted program.
wow. And 14 is when you started. When did you get on the habit? I don't want to even want to say habit. When was your rotation of six a day? 6 L's a day?
Right? I know,
Re-
right?
And still being as highly functional as you are.
Yeah.
Right.
That was around that late teen, early 20,
Okay.
but that's when life hits you. You're so used to, being that young teenager, not an adult. So now
Right.
that these life issues are now at, your forefront, and you don't know how to make the right decisions,
Hmm.
you start going into not understanding life skills, and you just
Hmm.
probably get frustrated. I know for me, I feel like life hit me all at once because
Hmm.
you're sheltered, and
Right.
no one teaches you,
Right.
how to do certain things, and
Right.
then they just expect you to be equipped with it in
Right.
this adult world.
Right. Right. They throw you in and you got to train yourself.
Yes,
Right.
yes, and then being the first generation college student in my
Hmm.
family, there was a lot of stress on me.
Hmm.
So that's where the higher consumption came from.
Right. And it felt like the door opened up for you and the lights and you got it. Like it you kind of
Nah, it didn't just come to me.
it in.
Nope, nope. I spent a lot of time because of not knowing that I was masking my mental health, and
Mm,
that's the underlying issue when it comes to different reasons as to why.
wow.
I'm definitely in a better space than I was 10 years ago.
That's beautiful.
So
That's
yes,
beautiful.
yes.
Okay, so let's fast forward. So you go downtown, you go see Doctor.
Dr. Sue Sisley.
Okay, first woman to ever teach you or that you ever heard the endocannabinoid system.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. So basically then from there, I was like, okay, now I know the word that I need to expand on and learn more about.
Right.
So at this point, California is doing their stance on prohibition.
Now what year is this?
So this was about 2009, 2010 ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So California is they're doing their thing, and I'm still in a phase to not really being open about smoking, so I don't
Mhm.
really know what's going on. But then once dispensaries started opening up, your friends are traveling for spring break and stuff.
Mm,
So
right.
I think I was about 2021 ish, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be a dispensary owner one day.
Okay.
Yes, yep.
Okay.
So I started my business plan pretty early. I went to
Right.
school for business management and accounting. So just having to implement those skills and understanding the cannabis business and market was, all I needed.
What school did you go to?
So, so the University of Missouri, St.
Okay,
Louis,
right on. Now, what when you? I want to go back to when you saw the doctor and you went to
her seminar.
her seminar downtown. Did that inspire you?
For sure. Yes.
Yes, I know it did.
Yep, it gave me all the fuel that I needed to not only advocate for the plan, but advocate for myself. Like,
Right,
hey, there's a reason, why. Because what happened was I smoked the wrrong kind of weed, and I
right,
didn't feel good.
right,
And
right,
I realized that, oh, okay, it's
right.
because of all these issues. Like, you know, once we gets here, it's been through a few days of,
Hmm.
routes or whatever. So
Hmm.
think about the conditions and the climate that is being stored in.
Right.
There's a science to this.
Right.
So that plant shouldn't be in extremely high, conditions.
Hmm.
Think about sitting in a one of those 18-foot, trailers,
Hmm.
UPS or USPS, however y'all getting it through the mail.
Right. Getting
I was,
moldy in there.
yeah,
Hmm.
so with that being said, it's creating those unhealthy components.
Right.
Still not saying it will kill you, but
Mhm.
it's not that, quality medicine.
Definitely. I remember this was like, excuse me, about mid 2000s, maybe like oh 05, oh 06. And I came across, and this was happening. It was like somewhat of a drought, but the kind that I kept coming across was, because back then we couldn't get, the OGs and the strains that we get now.
Right.
The
This
top of the
variety.
it's so crazy now because like you can get top of the line stuff now. All you have to do is if I were you, I'd go to the street because it's a hell of a lot better and cheaper than the dispensaries. But you can do either or. But back then you couldn't. And this Reggie I kept getting, it smelled like pneumonia. Like every time, like it was obvious that when they had to get it from Mexico to St. Louis, they doused that mug with pneumonia, so I guess the dogs
So
wouldn't
it didn't
smell it.
smell. Oh
Oh, and then
no.
smoking that stuff, like and
Yeah.
this was, yeah, I think this had to be '06. I said never again. I'm never
Yeah.
messing with Reggie again. I gave up on Reggie. It was all Kush OG from there on. I felt, I liberated myself. You know.
That's good to hear. I've actually never heard that story.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah,
you
and just
yeah, it was,
imagine.
and it was rampant. It was rampant
Uh-huh.
out there because it was just like again, it was somewhat of a drought, so it was
You
hard to
had to get
find,
what you had to
and
get.
it
Yeah.
oh, it was depressing. It was
That's
depressing.
homegrown.
R-
Homegrown.
for real, all day, and I would have been on it back then if I knew how to do it. But
Yeah.
here's the thing: so we fast forward. You graduate from UMSL with your business degree. What do you want to do? What's the first thing you tackled? I think I know what business you jumped right into.
No, I didn't get into cannabis right away.
Oh,
No, I
okay,
actually started working for UPS while I was in college.
okay.
So I worked there for about 3.5, 4 years.
Mm,
So I went into like logistics,
okay.
transportation, like full fledged.
Oh, nice.
Yep. So worked with a lot of contractors across
Okay.
the country and everything. I was actually living in Georgia
Mm.
when we passed the legislation here in Missouri. I came back to vote though, but
Go ahead. We needed a thinking
yeah,
sister.
I was like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be that one deciding
Right.
factor.
Right.
And that's probably funny. I was probably motivated more than anything to vote ever, but yeah.
Hmm.
So, right, but that changed now. Now I'm all into policy. I'm like, listen, we need to know what's going
Oh
on.
yeah. We can't hold our votes hostage anymore. No,
Right.
we are past that.
We have to have educated votes, though. Educated votes. But
Definitely.
yes.
Definitely.
So, once we passed legislation, my coworker from UPS, my former
Mhm.
coworker, we actually he ran the unload, I ran the sort out. We were a tag team for like about 4 years.
Nice. Earth City. Where we at?
Yeah, Earth
There
City.
it is. Yep.
Yep, yep.
Yep.
So he immediately called me. He's a Virgo too,
Okay.
so we both like, okay, boom, let's do this.
Yeah.
And yep, he was in San Francisco, California,
Yeah.
and I'm in Cartersville, Georgia. And we're like, so who's gonna be in Missouri?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I can go back. It's more realistic for me to do it right now. Everything. So moved back and went to the first public MoCan Trade Association meeting.
To back up real quick, what made you and this gentleman that you work with at UPS come together to do what was the plan at that point? To
Okay.
do to start the academy or
Oh no,
to
no.
to
So basically like the day after, it passed, like my
uh-huh.
phone was just blowing up. Like everybody, that's been smoking with each other is like, yo,
Yeah,
y'all, it's
yeah.
real. Let's do
Right,
this. What we gonna
right.
do?
Yeah.
So he's like, yo, let's do a cultivation site.
There it is.
Yeah, and
There it
I'm
is.
like, okay, so I don't at the time I'm not experienced in growing, enough to be like, I'm like, I don't know anything about growing in
Right,
order to
right.
run this facility,
Yeah,
but I have this business management background, so of course I can help you develop this and be a part of the
yeah,
team.
yeah.
So then he brought in a great, awesome grower from What's is Joe's business is Homegrown Heroes. He
Okay,
also
okay.
teaches educational courses. He's been doing this.
Homegrown hero. Shout
Yeah.
out to Homegrown Heroes.
Yes, yep, Joe with Homegrown Heroes.
Right.
So all three of us, we three black people, like, let's do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So we went to the Indo Expo in Denver.
Okay.
Then we came back, and just at that time, like I said, I had that dispensary plan in my pocket for
Mm,
about 5 years now, just simmering.
right.
And after going to the Indo Expo, it was just more realistic for us to go with the dispensary
Mm,
than trying to do this large, facility for
mm,
cultivation.
right.
So basically from there,
And what year is this?
yep. So this is 2018.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, so the beginning of 2019. So the expo was in February of 19.
Okay.
Yep. So by then we're just waking up every day trying to figure out basically what to do.
Right.
There wasn't any the legislation was, voted in, but there were no, it wasn't an infrastructure.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
every day
How
I'm
are we
up.
going to do this?
Right, to
Yes. Right.
implement this bill,
Right.
So
Right.
every day I'm calling City Hall or I'm up, calling the Capitol, like, okay, so let me know what's up, what
Yeah.
we do.
And they don't know.
They don't know anything. So
Hmm.
they're just like, ma'am,
Government, yeah.
right, right.
Hmm.
But I emailed them and everything. Like I was emailing like my alder women and like my aldermen like before the city hall, even knew what to do. So I'm like, hey, like I want you guys to know that like there's people, interested in being a part of this in the community.
Hmm.
At that time I had never seen a legislation for cannabis.
Hmm.
So I didn't know how there were dispensaries and grows in other states. I just
Hmm.
knew that obviously it was possible. So at that time, I started researching the first Black people to do anything related to cannabis in their states.
Where was that?
And that was basically March of 2019.
Where was it? What state?
Oh, specifically like all over. So like Denver, Colorado,
Mm,
Los Angeles,
okay. I've heard of
Oakland,
a black couple up there in Denver that have like the first one of the first like black owned dispensaries.
Wanda James.
I think that's
Yep.
their name. Yeah,
Yep. I
yeah.
had the pleasure of meeting her. I've met like all of like my heroes like that I've
Wow.
learned about in the last 2 years.
Right.
Yep, yep. So like I was like, hey, like I need to know, how they've done this.
And how have you
And
met them? I don't mean to interrupt.
oh no, no, you're fine. Just throughout my own experiences and also being the executive director of Minorities for Medical Marijuana. It's a national nonprofit that advocates for proper minority representation.
Executive director of, say that one more time. Wow. What is the name of it?
Yes, it's Minorities for Medical Marijuana. It's a national nonprofit. At this moment, I am.
I have one of your flyers at home.
Yes, yes, yes.
Wow.
So I am officially no longer the director as of yesterday, actually,
Okay.
because of the dispensary that will be opening in Oklahoma. So I'm relocating and everything.
Oh,
So
okay. So you can't do both, or you can't do it because
well,
you're gonna
well,
be there.
yes. I just think the community deserves that time to be allocated. So that position it demands a lot. So I wouldn't be living, here in Missouri.
Right,
I'm still
right.
very active. I definitely love the organization. I'm still I'll be basically picking it up and moving it to Oklahoma.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So just not representing in Missouri, yeah, in Missouri, but still, being a part of the mission.
And the company will still be, who will run it here once you leave?
Well, I can't say yet because
Okay.
yes, I'm letting them announce it. But Missouri knows. So once it is announced, they're gonna be very excited. You guys love them.
Oh my goodness.
They are very active in the industry, and then I can't say what they have, but they have a lot of dope ancillary companies. Yeah, so
Okay, that's a much needed organization right
yes,
now, and the
it
fastest
is.
growing business in America. Like we need that.
Mm-hmm.
We need more minorities in marijuana, like
Yes. Well, Roz McCarthy, she is the
legally.
founder. Yes. So Roz McCarthy is the founder of
Okay.
M
Right.
for MM, sorry.
Right.
So
And they're out of Orlando, aren't they?
yes, Orlando, Florida.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
I talked to her actually. I
Okay,
did.
yes,
Yep.
awesome. So
Yep.
yes, so that is exactly who really opened up the doors for me and created this opportunity.
Right.
I went to the M for MM workshop
Okay.
that was held at UMSL in April of
Okay.
2019.
Right. Right.
So basically, between February and April, I'm trying to figure it out with my teammates,
Uh huh.
and there's this news. broadcast of this, organization coming to Missouri
Hmm.
and doing a minority boot camp for licensing.
Wow.
Yes, and
Wow.
I was like, I gotta be there,
Right.
and at the time moving back so abruptly, financially, I was like, oh man, I actually had the honor of helping her and Sarah Sadie of Green Rush Consulting
Mm.
to like put some of the speakers and everything together.
Okay.
And so like the night before the workshop, they were like, we know, thank you so much for the resources. See you tomorrow. And
Right.
I'm like, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be there, but because of course I was gonna like, hey, can I get a ticket?
Right. Right.
I
Right.
really
Right.
wanted to earn, my keep.
Right. Right.
And she was like, oh girl, what is your email? I will see you in the morning. And I was like literally crying myself to sleep, like, oh my God,
Wait. You
okay.
did all that. This is for MM. For,
M for MM.
you did all that work for them, but and you thought you weren't going to go to the event.
Well, it honestly wasn't like a lot of work. It was
Yeah.
really just me, like, being like, hey, what are some great people who are some great people in your community that are
Hmm.
doing, like assistance in cannabis or helping, push the forefront.
Right.
It wasn't really like, they were asking, like, I wasn't working with them or anything.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, no, like, actually, it was crazy that I met Sarah Seti at the Indo Expo
Okay.
in Denver.
Okay.
So this is just three, naive people from St. Louis at
Hmm.
this, large cannabis expo.
Hmm.
So as we're talking to her, there's no mention of, her being from Ferguson, Missouri or
Oh
anything.
wow. She's from
Right.
Okay.
Yes,
Wow.
she's from Ferguson, Missouri, and she actually is the co-owner of one of the largest cannabis facility licensing like firms in the country.
Jeez.
Yes.
Wow.
So, it wasn't a really personal conversation. It's a large expo, So
Hmm.
beyond us getting the information and having a, conversation, that was it.
Right.
So in March, they actually did an open house to just explain what the boot camp was going to be about.
Okay.
So I went and there's Sarah, this lady I just saw less than a month ago.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God, I know her,
Oh yeah. This was supposed to happen. This was
Yes.
supposed to
I'm like,
happen.
wow.
That's amazing.
Yep,
That's
yep.
how it works. So from that meeting with her, how do you get from there to your dispensary opening? Like, well, you're not, no, but there's a step before that. What do you do before the dispensary? Then you do what? You start the academy.
Right. So we basically so we lost here in Missouri.
Yeah,
And basically from
which is a
there,
damn shame.
yes, yes, we talk about the predatory capitalization on us.
Right,
But that would be all day.
right, right.
Yes.
Definitely.
So basically, just not taking no as an answer.
Hmm.
And then just studying other markets. At this time, I'm like a cannabis education connoisseur. So like
Hmm.
I'm studying, border states around me, like, how did Oregon legislation look?
Right,
Why is that
right,
different from California?
right, right.
So then I understood that these legislations are different around, each state. So from there, we basically found ways, and I honestly mean like myself, because at that time, we had parted ways. So Majestics was the beginning of like my dispensary venture.
Okay.
So that was the name of the company here in Missouri.
Hmm.
And then just us not being able to, maneuver from the loss of this, we decided, to part ways.
Hmm.
So that's where the academy and the clinic came from. So the Fleur Verte Academy is also a telehealth clinic. So
Mm.
yes, we are the first Black owned, women of color owned operating clinic.
Telehealth clinic, black
Yes.
owned. Go.
Yes. Yep.
What? Just gonna get
Yes.
all round of applauses all day. I've never had a guest that so many. Wow, like you're gonna
Thank
break the
you.
record. Like goodness.
And that's what you came out to in Wellston. So,
Right.
yep, yep. But it started off as Majestics that first year in 2019.
Okay.
And basically, after seeing a company try to put a $3 million co-growth facility in Wellston, Missouri, that would have done nothing for the people directly in that community was very upsetting.
Hmm.
I was at my first cannabis expo in Missouri, and I'm like, wow, this is a great building. And then as I'm looking, it's a white screen, like, oh, look what's coming.
Hmm.
And as I picked up the information on the sheet, and I'm like, what's in Missouri? And like, well, like we don't really differentiate, like like the city of St. Louis, so
Hmm.
like how it was up there, and I'm like, this just doesn't sound right.
Right, right,
Um,
right,
Basically, the St. Louis County executive, and his, team of corrupt people,
right, right.
basically were doing a lot of behind the scenes, business deals and stuff. So they were
Talk about it.
incarcerated. Yeah, they were incarcerated for their doing. So it's
Hmm.
all like public records and stuff.
Right,
But that really opened up the rabbit hole for me,
right.
because as it started it's listing
Well,
people.
talk about that now. Were they arrested for basically taking money for licenses and not approving, or taking money that they shouldn't have been taking? What did they get?
No, so this was specifically for like land zoning and
Hmm.
like the property. The most important part is land. You
Right,
own the
right.
land, you own everything.
So rezoning it for people who pay
Yep.
them such and such money.
And
That
then
type of
also
correction. Yeah.
discounting it at a very cheap rate.
Right, because they get
Yes.
broken off later down the road.
Exactly.
Wow,
And
wow.
then writing it off as these, promise zone and economic distress, advantages to where
Mm.
even they get tax credit cuts.
Right.
So not only are you allowing them to operate and, capitalize on us, you're also not even holding them accountable to being proper tax paying
At
people,
all, at
you
all.
know.
That doesn't make any sense. So when you so after that, once you get the academy, you get denied from Missouri, but you have the academy going. How did you branch out Oklahoma? How did you get to Oklahoma and get your dream started there? How'd that work?
Yes, Oklahoma. Let's see, how did I get started in Oklahoma? Um, oh, so once again, just researching, um, the first blacks, to do
Right,
what they're
right,
doing. And
right.
Oklahoma actually has the largest black dispensary ownership in the country.
What? It
Yes.
does?
Uh-huh. Because
Huh.
yes, it is. I can't say it's very easy to get into Oklahoma, but there's a lot of leniency inside of the application process.
Okay.
On the back end, that opens up a lot of issues when it comes to, proper mandation of, the legislation and also building the infrastructure. So like
Right.
they don't have like a proper, lab testing infrastructure. So
Okay.
you talk about, saying what's actually in this dispensary sometimes can be an issue.
Okay.
But that's my main goal is to create things that aren't there. Obviously, you have to meet the demand. So not only am I going into Oklahoma saying, hey, I'm providing this, medical marijuana, but I'm also telling, their Oklahoma cannabis group that,
Hmm.
hey, there's an issue, you need help in testing, and I have these solutions.
Right, right,
A lot of people like, do you want to go down there because of these things? I'm like, yeah, I'm going down exactly because of that, because
right,
obviously they haven't found a proposal that works for them,
right, right.
so from there, basically, shout out to the Motherland Tulsa. If you're
Mhm.
ever in Tulsa, Oklahoma, please stop by and excuse me, one of the best dispensaries I've ever went to
Motherland
ever.
Tulsa.
Yes, the
Okay.
Motherland Tulsa.
Wow.
It is ran and owned by an awesome group of people. The dispensary looks like a scene from the 70s. Like they
Wow.
have the back of a caddy in like the lounge area, all
Wow.
70s psychedelic,
Wow.
decor, and they're really cool, awesome people.
Black owned?
Yes, definitely
Wow.
black owned. Yep.
How many dispensaries there are black owned since you said that? That's the most
Oh
in the country.
man. Yes.
More than Atlanta, more than Georgia?
So Georgia isn't legal at all. Like,
Whoa.
please don't smoke in Georgia. You'll go to jail.
Oh, Killer Mike, get on that. Come on.
Yes, yes.
Seriously?
But you gotta think about it. Atlanta, Georgia houses the elite of Black Hollywood. They got money down there.
Right, right,
So
they do.
you create a legislation that allows them to get into the market that would probably be the mecca of, the country when it comes to cannabis.
I'm surprised that they're probably doing grassroots things trying to change that. So how many black folks own dispensaries in
Like thousands. Yeah.
thousands in the state of
Yeah.
Oklahoma? Thousands.
Yeah.
Wow. And
I mean,
so
like hundreds and then close to a thousand.
okay, this is my question. So When are you relocating?
So I've been back and forth since last year.
Okay.
So I the same things that I do in Missouri, I do in Oklahoma. I love Tulsa a lot. So of course, Black Wall Street, Tulsa, definitely intrigued. You know the history in that, and me having my financial background. I
Hmm.
always like me teaching financial literacy to the community is one of my like main focal points. And
Wow.
then cannabis just being the largest, industry to monetize and to come into its, infancy in the last 10 years
Right.
is where we need to be segueing into. But there's just so much pushback from the community because of the uneducation.
Right.
So you got to do everything at once. You're like,
Okay.
okay, where do I start? You got to start everywhere at once.
Well, go back with that. What do you mean exactly? Financial literacy. What do you mean by that?
Everything from understanding how to pay your bills to
Wow.
investing in the stock market.
Right. Right. Right.
You need to be making money while you sleep.
Yeah.
I do get that everyone isn't an entrepreneur. That's
Hmm.
definitely understandable. But there has to be several streams of income,
Hmm.
and I mean that's just the way of life.
Right.
So we have to prioritize our time, but also utilize it. The worst phrase ever was like time is money, and
Right.
it's
Right.
like now excuse me, you're devaluing yourself
Right.
drastically if you think that equation works.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
but yeah.
Wow. So because you're more valuable than money, of course.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I
Oh, go
will walk
ahead.
out of a corporation in a minute. Yes.
I love, man, Miss Madison. I love the way you think, putting yourself first. So, and you do all that through your academy.
Yes,
Wow.
everything. So that link that you have on your information, but Fleur
Give it
Verte.
out to the people real quick so they
Yes,
have it.
so you can find us on Facebook. Fleur Verte is FLEUR, then Vert, VERTE. Okay, and then there you can find like our appointment scheduler that also lists all of our services. So we do everything from officially certifying patients into the homegrown market, as well as those medical cards that allow you to purchase from dispensaries. Um, Obviously, I don't support dispensaries on a multi-state operating level, but I do believe that even when it comes to wherever you are giving your money, it is important that your doctor
Mm.
looks like you.
Right.
Our doctor
Right.
is Dr. Janice Stewart. You were able to,
Oh, the
uh,
woman has her own sports medicine practice and cannabis medicine practice, y'all. She's going to be on the show pretty soon. Can I shout her out again?
yes, Dr. Janice Stewart.
Oh, Dr.
Yes.
Stewart has it going on. Cannot wait to have her on.
Yes, she does. So,
She was awesome.
and then Don, the patient cannabis advocate that
Right.
referring to as well. So us three ladies, we
Right.
came together.
Dawn was excellent. Thank you, Dawn, for getting me together. Thank you.
Don is amazing. When we talk about understanding patients' rights and
Mm,
understanding the law on a patient caregiver level, she is one of the most educated people in this state. And
mm,
I was very happy, when she was ready to partner up with me.
mm,
So she was actually working for another company.
mm.
And once again, being undervalued,
Right.
I was like, listen, I got an idea for us.
Right.
So I went to my drawing board and I was like, I want to create this academy and this clinic,
Hmm.
and once I have enough money to bring you on board,
Right.
and she was like, girl, forget the money, here I come,
And she's right. She's giddy up.
Yes.
She's don't seem like she's down like that.
Yes, she
Yeah.
is. And she has been my saving grace.
Right.
Because once you book on that link, 'cause I have so many people that inbox me,
Right.
but she's the one that everyone talks to.
Right.
And I
Right.
don't want to let them down because they're always like,
Right.
okay, I'm gonna see you. And then they
Right.
end up talking to her. And then I was
Yes.
like, but
Yes.
I met
Yes.
Don. And I'm like,
Yes.
yes, I know you're gonna love her way better than
Right.
me.
Dawn fills in the gaps and then creates. That's what she does and helps wherever it's needed. So before when we were outside earlier, you gave me a great story. Not even a story, just a snippet of because it's high off the glass, y'all. We talk about cannabis, which we've had a great conversation about with Miss Marne today. We got to switch over to basketball as well, but that's the reason why I have this show. I was inspired to have this show by a gentleman by the name of Al Harrington. And Al Harrington owns Viola, which is Viola Dispensaries. It's his company that he has in the cannabis industry, and they're trying to Larry Hughes, well-known local St. Louis basketball player. He made it to the NBA. He is trying to open up a dispensary here, and for some reason, Miss Madison and them have a little beef. What's that about? What can you speak on it?
That's funny. That's funny. No, I wouldn't even call it beef. I would just,
Misunderstanding. A
yeah,
misunderstanding. What's that
yeah.
about?
And I think that if we could communicate and come to the table to talk and have, to get a clear understanding,
Right.
that we wouldn't have this, issue. But as everyone knows, like I am someone who holds everyone accountable
Right.
when it comes to any, skin color or background. When you come into my community and
Mhm.
communities that look like ours.
Mhm.
And it comes with this, this sort of gaslighting. Even when those opportunities, seem, glamorous and everything, like from the top to the bottom, like we can't. And ooh, I was gonna say a very bad phrase. It's not like it's not selling out. It's
Yeah,
just
not at all.
no. What it is it's using the opportunities, but then like not keeping it real.
Well, how do
Um,
you assume that that's what's going on with Viola?
um, well,
It,
so not necessarily with a lot of these celebrity cannabis companies. When
okay.
we talk about capitalist investors, and
Uh-huh.
at the end of the day, having to play their game, we should no longer have to play their game.
Right.
So we talk about, we talk about what the game, LA Confidential, Nas, his documentaries and his.
Oh, that documentary he just had on BET smoking. Oh, that was so good. Did you see that?
I have not
It
gotten
was
a
so
chance to
good.
see it.
Basically hip hop and marijuana.
Right.
The bridge and how, it's so good.
Yeah, and it's real, but when we talk about always talking about the problems
Hmm.
and then really not doing everything that we can do for the solution,
Right.
and then that becomes a problem,
Right. Right.
So basically, just a lot of things have occurred since they've actually won licenses in Missouri. And I think that they should be more active in the community before opening up doors and selling weed to us.
Right.
And that's all that it is. So just like me, stating that this was my second annual Wellston Drive,
Right. Right.
I've reached out on several occasions because they're the only black owned, so, NBA vertically integrated company in this state.
Right. Right.
So people like Don and these other cannabis activists and advocates
Yeah.
shouldn't have to do a lot of this on our own.
Right.
And
Right.
especially when you have that opportunity, they want licenses here and went to go party in Chicago. You didn't even give the
Mm.
money back to the. You could have went to a club downtown,
Right. Right.
So
Right.
we talk about like being in that community that you're
Oh,
investing
okay.
in. So I'm go ahead.
No, no, no. You know what? At first, I was gonna let you finish. But the first thought I had was, well, you got to give them a chance. I mean, you got to give them a chance, and they just started. And but if you said they've won licenses, that they didn't want to celebrate here, they didn't make a big deal about it here, and you barely hear about it here, and they're not, reinvesting in the community that they're going to try to take from you. I guess I get what you're
Their
saying, but
their groundbreaking event, they did not invite not one minority or black cannabis advocate in this
are
industry.
you serious?
I'm serious.
This is what okay, and this is Larry Hughes's thing that connected with
So
Viola,
Larry
with
Hughes, Larry
L.
Hughes is
Harrington.
like the face of
Uh,
it. I don't know if you caught his news segment of basically just being like, oh yeah, so it's really hard to get in this. You need $1 million. I'm sure he doesn't know anything about the endocannabinoid system. When we talk about a medical market, this isn't a
right,
rec market,
right.
so it's very important to educate our people.
Mhm.
um, I mean, we talk about them owning licenses in other states prior to Missouri. So you shouldn't need a blueprint of how to come into a community. For one, their other owner is actually a St. Louis resident, born and raised,
Mhm.
Abe Givens.
Okay.
So very familiar with the entire state of Missouri,
Right.
but where are you guys?
Right,
But
right.
when it's time for this grand opening, and and of course I've been very vocal. I mean, people have seen this on Facebook. That's how
Hmm.
public it is.
Hmm.
To where he feels as though I should spend my time holding the white people accountable and not bringing us down.
Hmm.
But when I have people constantly, on my phone and me, like I may be broke this week, so I really
Hmm.
talk about companies and organizations that should be doing more
Right, right,
for
right,
these businesses that they're opening up. I
right,
get it, it's all good. Of course, what I'm not saying is pull up in this truck and pass out money.
right.
That's
No, of course
definitely
not.
not
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
No.
And I want that to be very clear,
Yeah.
because when I make a stance for the Black community, everyone, accuses, not only me, but just a community of like, oh, you guys want handouts.
Larry's been
No.
known to do that too. I remember one time Larry went to the gas station over here at South Jefferson, was just paying everybody's gas, giving out money. But I understand what you're saying. But here's the thing: I don't mean to cut you off,
Oh, go
but you're
ahead.
100% correct. They need to invest more in the community. But I tell you one thing: we're not just going to call out whoever says, "Oh, we'll call out the white companies." No, we're going to call out everyone who thinks they can come into the community and take what they want and not give back. That's not how it works. If
Mhm.
it goes for Nike, it goes for Viola as well. I mean, you have to reinvest. Of course, Nike has in certain ways, but Viola, we definitely need you to do that. You need to come on High Off the Glass, Larry, and talk about it. I have some different ways.
What
I'm
I
gonna get
know,
that man on here.
I mean, I know they have, like, he's been on conferences and stuff, so
Right.
like they're implementing these grant programs and things like that.
Mm.
But once again, we talk about the capitalist investors that own percentages of these companies, so we
Hmm.
can only do what they allow us to do sometimes,
Right.
and it shouldn't take that long, or it shouldn't take these boards to vote on where your money goes.
Right. Right.
The bottom line for everyone, when we talk about equality across the board in cannabis, all tax revenue from cannabis needs to go to the Black community for our
Oh,
reparations.
that's
Period.
man, Miss Madison, you are you on a whole nother level right there, sister. Why? That's what you believe, huh? You from
Yes,
and then what? How you think all of it for this for whatever state?
all of
All of
it.
it?
Yes,
Wow, wow.
we talk about,
Nothing
because
go to education. Nothing go to the infrastructure of local governments in that state. Just all for reparations.
there's enough. There's enough for them to, even, and well, first off, let's look at the percentage that goes to education, because honestly, I don't think they're allowed to donate the funds to education because of the federally illegal, ramifications of that. So,
You well, no, Colorado does that. What are you talking about? Every kid in that state, have top of the line iPads and
really.
laptops and whatever they need. Like Colorado's education system has shot up because they have more funding from cannabis being legalized there.
Oh,
So,
that's great. So every state makes their own own legislation, for where their taxes are allocated to.
hmm.
The Missouri is behind on paying their veteran taxes. But
They are
the thing is that
take care of their vets.
yes, and that's who this program was for.
Hmm.
But we talk about majority of those people being on federal veteran programs that can't even utilize the
Right,
program. It's
right,
all smoke and mirrors, like
right,
to just say,
right,
"Oh, this is what we did."
right.
But yes, no, of course, I would want that money to go to education and Black reparations.
Hmm.
That's it.
Actually, threw another one in there. All right.
Yes.
Well, I agree with that to a certain extent. That's reparations. I think is something that's long overdue in this country. It's funny how the United States government can seem to pay everyone else for shames of their past, except black folks. That's kind of weird.
Everyone else.
Yeah.
I actually have very hard discussions on Facebook, because when we talk about, Native Americans and tribal laws, they're able to create casinos and
Right.
cannabis dispensaries under laws that are not the same as ours.
Wow.
They don't pay taxes,
Yeah.
and
I think they're owed that though. They're owed that and they're due that. This is
so,
their land.
so once, okay, well, we talk,
You know what?
listen,
We got we got
okay?
we got to talk about your event before. But that's it. Ooh, you about to go down
I
this
was
rabbit
like,
hole, ain't
wait,
you?
I was like, who was here first?
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, them and us.
Now, Thank you. Indigenous people
Yep,
are
them and us.
melanated people. We're
That's
the
true.
first race to ever walk this earth. Shout out to Lucy in
Yeah.
the sky of diamonds, okay? Because an archaeologist told us all we were made from a black woman.
Right. Okay.
Okay, but let's go ahead.
What is Lucy in this guy? What is this?
Oh, Lucy is what they named the skeleton bones that they found of the black woman that made all of this.
God damn it, man! You shit, girl. I'm so.
Oh,
I was
listen,
supposed to meet you.
I can talk all day.
Yes, you can.
but,
Keep doing it.
No.
Before we get out of here, though, we have to talk about first annual cannabis golf event in the state of Illinois. Your company is doing it. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to go. Talk about it.
Yes, yeah, I'm so glad you're going to be there. You'll actually be
ma'am.
broadcasting live with us.
Yes, ma'am. We will be there. High
Yes.
off the glass, we'll be there, everybody. Y'all will love it.
Yes.
Yes.
So we are
I'm
hosting.
excited. We are excited. Woo!
Yes, it's
Hell
going to be
yeah.
so dope.
Yes, ma'am.
We are hosting our first annual Midwest Canna Golf Tournament at our black-owned golf course, the Grand Maria Golf Course.
Woo!
Yes, it is. Yes, it's a black-owned golf course. Y'all better come out.
Dude, come on, for
Listen,
real. You know what I'm saying?
So, shout out
everybody-
to
man.
Centerville, Illinois. Yeah, so we will have vendor and sponsorship opportunities are still here. It is April 17th from 10 to 10 p.m. Throughout this day, we're going to have food trucks, fun, games. Of course, you do not need to golf. The golf tournament is for people that want to golf, that want to be in the contest.
Right.
That is why we'll have tons of food and games and music. We got DJ Dirty Bird coming out there with us. Yes.
What up, Dirty Bird now?
Yes, it's gonna be lit. We have Oliver Mars. That's a band.
Okay.
They will be premiering their new album. So this is something that the entire country has never heard before.
What? Go ahead.
And yes, they're gonna be right here in Centerville, Illinois, to help us
awesome.
bring in this 420, week. The main goal of this event is to raise funds for minority cannabis ancillary companies.
Okay.
We do have discounts for minority vendors.
Right.
So there's still opportunity to be a part of the event. You have up into, the last week before the event to reach out and become a part of the event with us. We have some awesome people already on board. Shout out to Smoke 2.0, y'all. So this is a black guy from Chicago.
Mhm.
He lives here in St. Louis.
What up, Smoke?
Yeah, so he actually created what different smoking apparatuses, and then even and so it's like as far as like the Swisher Sweets, the wraps and everything. So he has papers, leaves,
He makes his own papers.
Yeah, so he produces, wholesale, and distributes. So he's in a few gas
Smoke,
stations.
you need to be on High Off the Glass and give me some papers before it. Yes, and then come on the
Yes.
show. Yes,
Yeah,
I
I'm
like him.
definitely give you his info.
Creates his, yes, definitely. He's going to be at the golf event.
Yep.
Wow.
He's a vendor there. Yep, he's one of the best ones that we got. I want to definitely make sure y'all patronize him. We have the Creole food truck, the Crooked Boot, coming out so far.
What?
Yeah. So definitely come and rock with us. And
Crooked Boot, what up?
Yes.
I can't wait to eat some gumbo.
I know, right?
Right.
Okay, so you know about them.
Damn. Well, I don't know about them, but you said they
Okay.
Creole, so I know they got gumbo.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
right. Yeah.
Make sure you got some without pork, because I don't do all the pork.
Oh no, they good.
That's what's-
She be meal prepping for the hood and stuff. She's good.
Damn right.
Yes. So and we're just missing you. So if you are listening, you're watching, you have into those last couple days before April 17th to come on board with us. And I also wanted to invite everyone. So I know we used to smoking and everything on 420. If you are not busy on 420, I am going to do a rally outside of the Justice Center across the street down here downtown.
Ooh.
Yes, for 420, we are starting the movement of freeing my partners. Okay?
Man, if I'm not at work, I'm at that.
Yes.
Please believe.
Yes. So
Yes.
I'm setting up shop all day,
Oh my
Yes. I'm gonna be there with my chair from sunup to sundown.
Oh yes, man. Marne.
Yes, we all get to utilize our rights to smoke, weed and cannabis. And just that one day, I really want them to know that, like, my mind is in there with them because it is so unfair. I
Right.
can't imagine sitting in there seeing, people on TV or hearing about it. And, I mean, just, seeing it and knowing that I'm a nonviolent marijuana offender and I can't get out of prison.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah,
Wow.
so 420, free my partners. I will have t-shirts printed very soon. So if you're gonna come on board, definitely want to have our shirts and everything on.
Right.
Reach out to me on Facebook, Marne
420.
Madison.
Come on out for that, y'all. We have to
Please
make
come
that
out,
happen.
y'all.
That's an amazing event. You got people that are locked up right now for literally having a dub or some shit. Something minute and as minor and stupid as that. Like, come on now. And come on out to this golf event April 17th at say the golf course again.
The Grand Maria Golf
Grand
Course.
Maria Golf Course. And for more information, they can go to what website?
So you can follow us on Facebook, Midwest Canna Golf Tournament.
Midwest
You'll
Canada.
find all your info there.
Midwest Canada Golf Tournament, everybody. This has been an amazing. I need a whole nother word. This has been stupendous. Goddamn it! Thank you, sister. This is
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Miss Madison. You are doing so much. Thank you for
Yes,
coming
thank
to the
you.
show. Greatly appreciate you. You have been amazing, everybody. This has been High Off the Glass from the new Big Stu Studios, downtown Broadway, everybody. We are so blessed to High Off the Glass as a part of this, always forward moving, always forward media movement that we have going right now. I'm just happy to be a part of it. High Off the Glass is, and you know what? It's time to burn out. So, we about to get on up out of here. Miss Madison, you are doing so much.
Yes,
You,
you too.
you,
You too. Thank you for this.
you
We need this platform.
We do, and we need to kill the stigma. And what you're doing is exactly that. You're killing the stigma with all this hard work you're doing. And go to this event, this golf event next month, y'all, because I know High Off the Glass will be there. And go down there 420 and support them brothers that are locked up for Babbage and those sisters too. Everybody.
That's right. Free my partners.
That's right.
Yeah, have a good night.
Peace out.